86. Page 286. Yeah. 286, we're on chapter 12. Garden of Peace. We're up to the section where it says wronging one's wife. The Torah says, you shall not wrong one another. Yeah, the Torah delineates two types of wronging. Monetary, where one cheats someone else financially, and verbal, where one upsets and hurts someone else with words. Financial wrongings are relatively easy to rectify. Why? You stole 1,000, you give him 1,000. You stole 1,000,000, you give back 1,000,000. Yeah? You apologize, you return the money, you're good. Verbal wrongs are sometimes impossible to rectify. The word said can never be taken back or erased from the other person's memory. Even if they grant forgiveness, the pain in their heart and soul may never heal. It's very hard. You financially degrade somebody. It's like, cutting somebody's hand. Then what do? You put stitches, but at the end of the day, you see the stitches, sometimes it pains, right? The weather changes, you have pains in there. Similarly, here he says you said wrong, you hurt them verbally. Even though she forgives, she's like, okay, I forgive. That hurt is inside and it'll never go away, especially with the women. They don't forget these kind of things. Women by nature are sensitive and emotional, and therefore readily vulnerable to verbal abuse. The Talmud says, a man must be careful not to wrong his wife, for her tears readily flow. Her emotional sensitivity makes her feel the sting of any comment and criticism. Jewish law specifically dictates that one must be extra careful with the wife's feelings. Unfortunately, when we were upset, many men, we don't hit. Chas v'sholom. There are crazies who hit their wives, but we don't hit with our hands. But we do hit with the mouth. And therefore, she wrongs us, or we think she wronged us. From here we understand why she did it, because we are at fault. But before we didn't know that. So we feel like she's wronging us. And in order to get back, we want to say something, I shouldn't have married you. There's so many women better than you. My brother's wife is much nicer than you. She does this for him. He's like a king, this, that. Why? These things are engraved in her heart. And no matter if you tell her, no, Motek, I was just saying that, just whatever. It wasn't real. She will never forget these words. And she will know exactly when you said them, which date, which month, what you were wearing, what the weather was when you said it, 15 years ago, whatever. Why? Because it's extremely traumatic on them.
And we don't remember.
Well, yeah, we don't.
And we're saying she's crazy.
Yeah. We don't remember.
About facial expression. This is
Yeah.
They remember if you don't say it, but just you show facial
Absolutely.
expression, it brings the memories.
Absolutely. But here you said it. So he's saying this verbal, Baruch Hashem, ever since we're learning this book, we don't say these kind of things bichlal, because this is, when we talk in comments, we talk in nice comments, nice constructive criticism. That nice we're talking about. This, when you wrong her with the words, this vapshe takes you out of the ball field. You're not even playing the game. It's foul to the max,
You're breaking the mirror.
100%. The Talmud tells us of Rabbi Rachumi, who was extremely righteous. With his wife's agreement, he would return home from the Talmudic Academy only once a year on the eve of Yom Kippur. Yeah, his wife said, okay, you go, once a year come back. That's how it used to be back in the days. On Yom Kippur, now it's no good because the woman cannot handle that. Even if she tells you go, she cannot. She won't be able to handle. She can't handle one day you're gone. You understand? Let alone 1 year or 1 month or 1 week or whatever it is. Once on this day, on Yom Kippur, he became so absorbed in his studies that he failed to return home. His wife eagerly waited for his arrival, but when he failed to come, she shed a tear out of sadness and disappointment. At that very moment, the gallery on which the rabbi was sitting under collapsed. He fell and died. Basically what happened, he was deep in thought in his Gemara, sat down and started thinking, what was that? Yeah. And he forgot the time. And his wife was waiting for him. She's like, Ibi, where's my husband? She started crying. She thought maybe something wrong. He used to come every year at this time. And because she shed a tear, the rabbi died. On his level, we would have been dead long time ago. If our wife sheds a tear for our real faults, we would have been dead long time ago. Not before. Thank God.
But what did she gain?
She didn't gain anything. She didn't, at the very moment, the gal, yeah. So he died. He says, in this extraordinary tale, the Talmud doesn't say that his wife suffered greatly or for an extended period of time. She shed one tear. This was enough to bring a decree of immediate death on her husband, although he had no evil intentions of hurting her whatsoever. Can you imagine? He didn't do anything wrong. And it wasn't she was crying. One tear, where's my husband? You know, I miss him. Maybe something happened to him. It wasn't for evil intentions. Rav Chaim Shmulevitz of blessed memory asks, how did this punishment help his wife? Yeah, like the rabbi is asking. Surely,
Kids know that.
oh,
What's the advantage?
surely his death caused her only more pain and suffering, since she would now be a widow. Yeah? He explained that our sages wanted to teach us the severity of upsetting others. Even in such circumstances, the punishment is severe and swift in coming. He would often say, upsetting a fellow human being is a burning fire. The Talmud states that all punishments are delivered via messenger, apart from the punishment for upsetting another, which Hashem delivers himself. He says, you know why the Chachamim wanted to put this? To show us that, look, this tear was not out of anger, chas v'shalom. It was not out of, something he said to her. No, she was worried, where's my husband? One tear, yeah? And he didn't intentionally do it. And yet he suffered this kind of punishment. He says, imagine for our intentional things that we say. And it's not one tear. Sometimes they cry in front of us. And we don't even say, okay, sweetie, I'm sorry. No, cry more. Yeah? He says, can you imagine? First of all, what chesed is Hashem doing on us? That He, sustains us and He keeps us alive and gives us the parnasah and lets us swallow normally and doesn't, get us, hit by a car in the street or whatever. Mamish, we have to be thankful to Hashem for the fact that He's even allowed us to walk here after so many times that we made our wives cry. But the point He's saying is that just a little bit is bad. Imagine intentional in a lot.
If we didn't know this,
Yeah.
and we acted, it's one thing.
Oh.
Now that we know it,
That's gonna be first of all, that's gonna be mamash. If you know this information and you don't implement it, that's really bad. That's what I was telling him. I said, you questioning on why didn't the rabbis tell you? Forget that. Now that you know it and you don't implement it, which many people don't implement it, why? Because it's hard on them. Listen, this is working on my ego, and I don't know if I can, let my ego down and have her trample on me all the time. Every single man so far, yeah, of course, not some of us that have been taking it seriously. They say, but listen, this is borderline being a trapka. I'm borderline being a rag. Well, what am I gonna say? And to that, I will tell you, you're 100% wrong. Because just now, a young man said to me over there that he used to help his wife, used to wash the dishes, used to this, used to that. That was before in the argumentative stage. And his wife wouldn't stop him. Keep doing it. He says, now that his relationship is different, his wife says, stop, don't wash the dishes. Go. It's beneath you. You shouldn't be doing this, yeah? He wants to clean up the floor in the kitchen. No, go. And she doesn't have a maid. She's going to do it herself. You hear? So why? Because now she says, this is my husband. This is my husband. I'm going to be proud of my husband. You understand? I don't want him to do the ladies' things. He's a mujik. He's a man. He's not a rag. If he would have been a rag, you know what she would have told him? Listen, before you used to wash 2-3 plates. Start washing everything. Let's go. Before you used to pick up 1 or 2 things. Here's the palisos. Go on. But she doesn't do that. And she will not do that. Why? Because now she wants to respect him because she sees the respect that he's giving her. And what did he do? Stop the negative comments. By the way, when we say, we don't mean don't talk to her. No. You got to talk to her. It's the negative comments you got to stop. And therefore, what you'll see, once you improve yourself in the quality of speech, by the way, we didn't have the quality of speech. That's why we constantly used to argue. I didn't understand that. I couldn't talk to my wife 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It would have been arguing. Why? The quality of speech was wrong. I didn't say anything. Yes, you did. You didn't know how to massage your ear. We have a new definition. It's called massaging the ear. Yeah? Now we have quality of speech. We know not to attack her. We know not to, give her, oh, you did this, you did that. No, all that is in the garbage can, Monday for pickup, by the garbage man. Now we have a different way of speaking to her. It's a different speech altogether, and therefore,
Who we're talking to.
yeah, and therefore it sounds good. The Sefer Hayarim writes, just as one can upset people with words, one can upset people with a sour facial expression. Anna, you were just saying it, right? You probably read this before, no? It's all good. Yeah? He says, husbands often come home after a hard day with a bitter expression on their face. This is problematic, for a wife sees this message that her husband is displeased with her. She doesn't know that you lost some money over there, or that you worked with a customer 3 hours and he ended up saying, I'll come back tomorrow, maybe never come back, or you messed up a tooth, or I don't know what, you got a flat tire. I don't know what it is. I'm tired, exactly. She doesn't care. When you come in like that, guess what she's thinking? Oh, he's not happy with me again. In a woman's mind, we don't think this way. It's me and my husband and nobody else. She don't care, kids, schmids, your mother-in-law, this, that, whatever, your mother, your father. It's me and you. And therefore, any reflection, action, emotion that you have, I did something wrong. He's looking at me bad. Has nothing to do with her. But since he's coming to the house, he's coming to my domain with that kind of face, that means it's something that he's not happy with me. And therefore she starts to think, Ibi, okay, what is it? And now she doesn't like it because she's thinking you're looking at her bad. Now she has a bad mood. And the circle, goes on. That's why we have to do, like that rabbi who, what was his name? I already forgot. Which rabbi was that, Rabbi? Rabbi Orbach, right. Fixed his hair, fixed it. Why? He's coming in to see his wife. She has nothing to do with what happened to him today. You're a man, you gotta be a man. You leave all the problems out there. Now you're coming into a different domain. Has to be a clear mind. This is what means self-control. We as men think we have self-control, right? A real man is a man with self-control. He's not going to break down when things are flying out of the worst thing to do is to panic whenever a serious situation happens, right? Imagine a OBGYN doctor, right? Baby's coming out. If you're panicking, you're out. You're out. And you know what? 5 times I've been in that room. Yeah. And they're very calculated. They see the hand is like this. They're like, okay, nurse, come over here. You're thinking, Blin, what's going on? Everything's done. Yeah. You feel the panic in the air. You feel the panic. And yet, he's very calm, collected. Why? If he goes berserk, guess what? We can have a major problem over here. You understand? Major problem over here. And therefore, that's a man. A man is one, he sees berserk. The whole house she's not at the calm, collected. Why? Because everybody's looking at you. Your kids are looking at you. She's 100% looking at you. She wants to see, I have a man over here. You would never, guarantee you never, take an OBYGYN and look, oh my God, you'll get out of here. I don't want you to touch my wife. Correct? Why would she want a husband like that? You wouldn't want a pilot like that. You wouldn't want a, taxi driver like that. You wouldn't want nothing in your dealings would you want a person that's not in control. You would not. And therefore, you think she wants you out of control?
You see, on the airplane, imagine the captain saying, everybody sit down.
Yeah.
Turbulence.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Everybody will make in their pants. Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I just put on the fasten seatbelt. Yeah. A little bit turbulence over there. He could be flipping out over there. He's gonna be, oh my God, we're going into there. Why? Calm the situation down. Therefore, he
goes straight to the water.
He'll also be calm. Listen, the gentleman that I was talking about in the morning, he said to his wife, listen, now that I've been, practicing this, what would you say is the major difference in the way you wanted to hear, I stopped commenting, this, that. You know what she told him? What she told you again?
You became more calm,
yeah.
more collected.
You became more calm, more collected. You basically, what she's telling him, you're in control right now. You understand? Before, when he used to get upset at work, you know what he thought? He thought his wife is a punching bag. So you can come and
It's a Muslim mentality.
No, but that's how we are. Well, what are we going to take it out on? We're going to take it out on wife and our kids. Why? Because they're there. You understand? So therefore, she told him, you're more calm, collected. Basically, she's like, you're in control. You're in control now. You come home, everything is relaxed, everything is that. Yeah. Before, I remember myself. We used to come in at home. What? Because why? We, like women, or women characteristics, we want to be cared for. So we're thinking, if I come with the thing, my wife is going to say, Johnny Kima, what happened? Everything okay? Come sit down, let me give you a massage. No way! She couldn't care about you. I mean, she does care about you, but now when you come with an attitude like that, you understand? So
playing your role.
exactly. So when she tells him, see, that's a big thing she told you. When she told you that you now come, she's saying, now you are in control. I feel you, that you're a man, and when panic happens, that you're gonna know how to solve the situation, be prepared to whatever. Why? Because they know that they're not. Women panic like crazy. Relax. What are you panicking? Don't worry about it. Yeah.
An idea just came to my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we have to gather as many men as possible.
Yeah.
And gather the thoughts like mama straight to the point.
Yeah.
And talk just men.
Yeah.
Boris is gonna organize.
Bezat Hashem. Bezat Hashem.
It has to be a very big event.
Absolutely. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
In the army, they taught us when you were a captain, you learn how to talk slow. To the soldiers, we used to talk like you see the way I speak now. That's the way we used to speak. They trained us because if they don't do this, then you're not a captain.
It shows panicky.
Yes. You talk. Blah, slowly. All, if you hear once, okay, the prime minister, or he knows exactly what's going on. He can talk to you, and he knows now they're in the middle of an action somewhere. And they train very well. By the way that you speak, they know if you're in control or not.
Big point too. That's a very big point.
Yes.
I'm a little bit faulty on that because as you say, I like to talk fast. It's just my nature. I like to whatever. So I've noticed that when you talk fast to a woman, she's you know what I mean? Huh? She breaks down, So I try to do one of these things where it's this, that, but it's just that's not my nature, So, but 100% right. Why? It shows calmness, collectedness, and that you're in control. You understand? So he says, yeah. When you come with a bitter expression on their faces, this problematic, for the wife sees this as a message that her husband is displeased with her. She doesn't think of attributing it for the frown to the 10 people who aggravated him early in the day, or to the rush hour traffic. Sometimes, coming from Manhattan, hour and 40 minutes. You know how nerve-wracking that is? Why? When it takes 15 minutes, no traffic, 15 minutes. Imagine.
I ran away from this.
Oh, you run. Yeah. Even though it's sometimes difficult to avoid upsetting the wife, a husband must leave his aggravation outside the house and walk in with a smile. A breach of promise is another form of wrongdoing. When a husband says that he'll come home at a certain time, he must keep his word. If he doesn't, his wife will be insulted because she takes it as a sign that she isn't important to him. Even for a mitzvah, it's forbidden to be late. If he sees that he's going to be delayed due to unforeseen circumstances, then he should phone her well ahead of the expected arrival time and tell her that, though no fault of his own, he won't be home on time. He should apologize in a pleasant tone and make it clear that he's truly sorry that he won't be on time for her. You know what's interesting? Many women, they don't care about themselves. They could be late. They go to a challah party, you expect them to come 8, 9 o'clock, they come 11, 11:30. You go to a shiur, she knows you're supposed to come 9:30, all of a sudden people ask you questions, you came 10:15. Why are you late? When you come 2 hours late, 3 hours late, do I say anything to you? I don't say anything to you. Why are you questioning me on 15, 20 minutes, half an hour? Yeah? And you know what he says? Because that's how they are. They're sensitive to those things. They look at us and offend. We know things happen. She must have spoken with a friend or whatever. The challah party became a little bit longer. I don't know. Many berachot. Who knows what it is? Personally, we don't really care. We know what the deal is. But they take it as an insult. He says they take it as an insult directly to them. Now I understand. I was like, well, I don't understand. Ibi, she can come 12 in the evening after a shiur. Me, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes late. It's World War II. So he says, call, hey, Johnny Kima, like this. Once you say that to them, now they say, oh, he thought about me. He called me. Yeah, we as men thinking, why am I going to bother her? I'll be there. But sometimes the time goes, so long that you don't see it. Whoops. Yeah. He says, the road to peace.
If you're late, he said probably is not excited.
To see me. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. We don't look at it like that. That's the difference between us and them. In their mind, yeah, it's always, he doesn't want to see me. He doesn't want to be with me. He's not thinking about me. He's coming late. Oh, he should have thought about me. You hear?
It's such a poor state of being, and that's what we're dealing with. She's not self
Confident. But it's not only her. Every woman is like that. This is how Hashem built them. You hear? He says the road to peace in the home is paved with tests, obstacles, and difficulties. A man shouldn't fool himself that he'll find a wife who matches him so perfectly that they'll always live together in harmony and bliss. And every man, he's thinking like this. No. You had the problem. Me? Nothing gonna be a problem. He's thinking he's gonna down the aisle, Arayat Mikudeshet, Betabat Zu, he's thinking, everything is good. No, he says, no way, my friend. All couples disagree with one another from time to time and about a number of things. Disagreements are inevitable. To prevent disagreements from turning into arguments, a husband needs to familiarize himself with the area where his wife feels differently than he does and with the situation and topics that are particularly sensitive for all women. He can then tread carefully whenever these cases surface. Here it says, you as a man, like when we spoke about a pilot, he knows where the turbulence is going to be. So what does he do? Tries to go up, tries to go down, tries to go wherever, A captain of the ship also, he knows waves are going to be there. He's going to go this way, he's going to go that way, he's going to try to different maneuvers. He says, my friend, you as a man have to know what ticks your wife, what doesn't. In our brains, I don't care what ticks her off. She's got to know what ticks me off. Right? That's what we usually think. Who should think she is? He says, no. You as the captain, imagine the captain thought, let the passengers worry about the waves. Everybody will be throwing up if he doesn't know the proper way to manage that. Imagine the pilot, let's go. And he doesn't care about the passengers. That's their problem that they didn't take Dramamine, before they got on the plane. Yeah? We can't think that way. That's why he says you got to see what's the sensitive topics of your wife. Yeah, sometimes they have more sensitive topics than others. You have to see and try to carefully maneuver around those. He says the Satan dances whenever there is strife in the house. Yeah, so one must avoid arguments at all costs. His job is to make you and your wife hate each other. No relations at night. No peaceful talking. Yeah, for you to look at other women. That's his job. If an argument has already been started, the husband should be quick to extinguish it. The husband, peacefully. If he doesn't, further arguments are likely to ensue. The nature of arguments is that one leads to another. And we know very much so, years of living, we think, no, it's going to get better. It ain't going to get better. It's just going to get worse. Because one argument, small one, turns to another argument. Another argument turns to a big argument. One day you didn't speak of 1 day, 2 days, right? Then it's going to leak for 5 days. Then it's going to leak for 1 week. Then it's going to leak for a couple of weeks. Then it's going to months. Then it's going to years. Years, no joking. We had people in this room that they have not spoken or been with their wives for 5 years.
Wow.
He was in this room. He was sitting around this table.
Wow.
You understand? And that's craziness. And you look at him, you're going to think, wow, tzaddik, mamash tzaddik. You would say, nothing wrong with this couple. Yeah? Meanwhile, everything is wrong. He says, good. He says, the Shla writes, at the beginning it says, and there was an argument between the shepherd of Abraham's flocks and the shepherd of Lot's flocks. Yeah? But when Abraham spoke to Lot, he said, let there not be strife between me and you. He said strife in the feminine tense rather than argument in the masculine tense. Interesting. Why did he do this? Abraham was saying to Lot, the argument that began between the shepherds, let it stay as one argument and not give birth, chas v'shalom, to further ones, like a woman who gives birth. When a husband becomes entrenched in argument and refuses to concede his position, he transgresses what it says in the Torah, do not be like Korach and his congregation. You hear? When you don't give up and say, okay, don't worry about it, everything okay, he says you become like Korach and his congregation. The book of Proverbs says, all the ways of man are pure in his own eyes. A person thinks that what he does and thinks is correct. This is natural. In every difference of opinion, if one side feels that he's right and the side feels he's wrong, he'll stubbornly argue his point. People have a very strong desire to defeat others. Yeah, and that goes even to the kids. Sometimes you want to prove your kid that you're right. You understand? There is such a thing. Why? Because I want to show him Papa's right all the time. He says, no, that's not, it shouldn't be like that. He says, but apart from where the topic is very serious, winning an argument is usually not worthwhile. Conceding a point preserves one's strength and peace. Peace with others is true victory, especially with one's wife. Bowing to her wishes and placing her in first priority are the greatest show of strength and the greatest victory. Wow, beautiful said. You know what he's saying? He's saying when you let go, that shows strength. Peace. Is the victory. Why? A lot of people think, no, I'm going to show him, I'm going to show her. And he's thinking, I'm strong. No, that's weakness. Why? Because you're so weak and you know that it's going to hurt you so much and that you can't bear the fact that you're quote unquote losing, you're going to stick to a fight that's worthless. You're going to not talk to her, you're worsening the relationship or somebody else even, right? But he says a real winner, a true gibor, a true man, be like, Monina, that's the big deal. Whatever. It's okay, it happened. Okay, you know, let's do peace. I'm trying to do peace with somebody. The guy doesn't want to talk to me. Maybe I say, I'm sorry, it's not, if I was wrong, whatever I say, I don't care. I'm saying I'm wrong, okay. You know, I take responsibility. What are you going to do? Rabbi Natan of Breslov.
In this case, Kodara, if the other person does not forgive you,
Rabbi Natan of Breslov.
here's the problem.
Rabbi Natan of Breslov says, he writes that argumentativeness is the worst of all bad traits. All other negative traits and desires can serve some positive purpose if they are harnessed and used in accordance with Hashem's will. But being argumentative serves no positive purpose and can uproot man from this world and the next. Yeah? He says, some of the traits that a person has, stubbornness, this, that, he goes, we could find positivity in them. He goes, but argumentativeness says the worst trait you could have. Reb Chaim Falaji of blessed memory testifies that he had seen with his own eyes that every argumentative family never escaped without serious damage to their health, to their wealth, or both. The vessels for blessing is peace, right? We do it in Birkat Kohanim, right? The vessel of blessing is peace. Where there are arguments, there are no blessings. In the story of Korach and his followers, arguments with Moshe, we see that the earth swallowed them alive with all their wealth. Arguments bring a person to anger, to stress, to depression, high blood pressure, heartache. Nothing else does so much damage to a person's physical and emotional health as arguments. He says parents quarrel sorely damage children's physical and spiritual well-being. We think that the children don't know anything. Let me tell you something. If you talk to your children, they'll never say anything to you. But if somebody else talks to your children about the relationship with the husband and wife, why? The things that they say, it's incredible. And you know what? As little as 4, 5 years old, 6 years old, they see it. We think they don't see anything, they don't know anything. No, they know everything. They know when mother and father are not talking to each other. They know when they feel it. That's how they are. And he says it's damaging to them. When unfortunately, we damage our children. And we're not talking about screams. We're not talking about screams and shouts and everything. No, we're talking about quietly. They know everything. Screams and shouts, vapshe, damages their well-being. Huh?
Cold war.
Yeah. He says, strife in the home destroys their capability of concentration and learning, damages their soul, and negatively affects them for the rest of their lives. He says, a wife may make many mistakes in childbearing, but her husband's quarreling with her about it will do more damage than any of her mistakes. Remember we said yesterday, right? I think I said, he said, when you see your wife smacking the child, you say, go away, don't say anything. Why? Because he says, when a mother does something to the child, they'll forget about it. Because it's my mom. She'll tomorrow make them brownies, cakes, this and that. They'll know. But when a father argues, and there's an argument between the couple, and he mentions when the father screams at the kids, that they take very seriously. Why? Because he's not as comforting as a mother. You understand? He doesn't show the warmth and as the mother does. He says, if a wife is too stern with her children, he says it now, and her husband steps in to protect them, the damage to the child from the ensuing tension will be far greater than the damage from her stringency. You hear? Meaning she's being strict, no big deal. When he comes and starts to argue with her about them, he says that's very damaging. In the case of strife,
the parents are not getting along. Both kids, both boys, in the 20s. One went already to LIJ.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Why? LIJ for what?
Mental.
The second one is on pills. No pills helping him
Wow.
because of no.
Argument.
That's how bad it can get, because the kids are very sensitive. They don't know what to do. They love. And these parents do not love the kids. They don't love the kids. They love themselves. They're going to argue, they're going to fight, on this. And if they're going to tell me, I love my kids, I say, get out of here. You're lying to yourself. Look at your kids. Look what happened to them. That love?
Again, this is on the shoulder of the husband.
Again, if he is the captain, he is in charge, so you have responsibility. Everything is going to be on your head. Made up with your wife, right? So at least we're going to save the kids. That's the most painful, is the kids. Because this problem will not be solved. He's going to go to, he will take it to his new home.
Create new problems.
To create more problems.
The kid.
The kid.
Yeah.
And then he will go to his kids now.
Generational trauma.
Yes. That's what we did. That's exactly what we did.
That shows that how much this is important to know and implement.
Finally, let's just finish this case.
And
Yeah.
it's very, very rare to find people who are serious that they really want to change. I don't understand this. You know, and I have a book at home on Bible. The whole book is why people are not coming to learn. That's
Why what?
the
What's the question? Why?
Why people don't come to learn? He says people don't want to change.
they're failing, they're destroying their life, their children's life, everything they destroy. Still, they don't want to learn.
Rabbi says learning is a commitment. The way to do it is, hey, come once, 30 minutes, that's it, don't come anymore. Comes one more time if you come, but 3-4 weeks, you're going to change. depends on us as educators. Say, hey, come and see 5 minutes. Don't come anymore. The second time you come, please. Next week you come. I think as somebody who could do that, that's good. If you don't come learn, you're like, oh, I want you to learn. He looks at the big picture, right? I'm gonna show you, you're gonna eat a lot of grapes in next month, you're gonna get scared. But if you little by little eat grapes, you're not gonna get scared. Right? I'm gonna show you a big mountain of grape. Rabbi, you're gonna eat this next
Soon
year.
he's gonna see.
You're gonna get scared, like, oh my God, I'm eating so much grape. It's too much.
That's good.
So if you eat little by little every day, you can't see it.
Oh, that's it.
Same with education. Bring them in to learn.
Doctor, well said, doctor.
I'm a gynecologist.
So he says, last thing we're going to say, he says, in the case of strife between a mother and one of the children, a husband must first give her unconditional backing. You hear what he says? That's what you said yesterday. Yeah? He sees the mother, arguing with the child. Don't, First talk to her. Don't worry, Slatka, everything good. Yeah? The Ben Ish Chai writes that when one walks into a volatile situation, he should realize that the Satan is at work in attempting to stir up arguments and discord. In fact, yesterday I was talking to this other gentleman that he's also working, and he said to me, he said, back in the days when my wife used to talk to my daughters, and they're older daughters, I used to right in front of the daughters and be like, God, how are you talking to them, this and that? Now recently, after you show me how to do this, he goes, recently she was saying, I go like this, he said, get out. He's telling himself, get out. And now he's like, no. Now I actually tell my kids, hey, why are you talking to mom like that? He says, before, I used to be like, давайте на нее, давайте, why? Потому что I was also upset, He says, now no. Now I back her up, and I'm like, hey guys, I don't want to see this kind of talk. You hear? And now that she sees, my husband's got my back, the whole thing is going to change. Okay, Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen v'Amen.